Welcome to part 2 of the Babylon 5 Season 5 Blitzcast. We pick up right where last week's episode left off, so if you haven't, you should go back and listen to the previous episode before this one. Or don't, who am I to judge? I'm already making my friends watch random episodes of a 30-year-old off-brand Star Trek franchise. Cue the music, editor me.
There's a hole in your mind.
Those weak will survive.
Just another cash grab.
I will kill Mike Slater.
Ladies' night out to Zahadoon, girls.
It's part of the code. The boneheads don't kill the other boneheads.
Just to get them all in.
Just my little thingies, get them all in there, nothing weird. Mummy is not a perfect film.
More dino glasses for the Narn.
Miss Piggy makes it on the deck.
Why is Mike on a sing-about? I was born in Philadelphia.
The devil's mullet.
And the year of joy.
The year is 2026.
The name of the show, you gotta check this out.
I have not heard from our next guest, so I'm willing to pull an audible here. I'm willing to give you a chance of redemption. David, would you be kind enough to go on to the next episode with us? And if you're cool with this, Mike, we can just do the next episode, and then if our next guest hops in, they can talk all the David can spare them a fate of having to talk this horrible season.
Coming in from the back of the room. I don't know how he got back there. He was just in the ring, but now he's back again. His entrance music is coming on again. Oh my God, it is the monkey, David Stampor.
So by the way, this does let me do a callback to one of my favorite wrestling characters and wrestling moments, which is Mick Foley, of course, had the three faces of Foley, Mankind, Dude Loving Cactus Jack, and there was a Royal Rumble where he kept getting eliminated and coming back in. So absolutely great callback. All right, so for everybody who's forgotten, David was previously on, you got to check this out, the episode you're listening to right now.
Blitzcast, wasn't he?
He was on the Blitzcast. I love that episode, Mike. That was a great episode. And David, have you watched any more Babylon 5 since your time on the show?
No, I've been really busy, so I have not had time to do that since the last episode.
Shoot, because you're going to need it for this one.
No. Now, also what I want to throw out there is we do give our guests a chance to, tell people what they got to check out. Don't know, since your last time on the show, you've got anything new for our listeners to check out. I think the new Superman movie with James Gunn, I think you're a big fan. That's
what I've heard. That's a winner all around, right?
Since the last time we've talked, my hate for that movie has grown exponentially.
Wow.
Only intensified.
Back to Babylon 5. We got to get on to our next episode. So, David, I was thrilled by your last reading. Are you down to do it again?
I'm down.
Bring it on.
Learning curve. Garibaldi confronts Lockley. Minbari Rangers enlighten D-Lin about their training techniques.
Oh, that was so dramatic. In my head, the dramatics should have said the episode like this, though. Some Rangers take a field trip to Babylon 5 and learn about mob revenge. The non-mystery of what side of the war Lockley was on continues on, unresolved.
To stay in our Superman thing, this is actually like a nice time.
All right, enough Babylon 5 talk. Time for Superman again.
No, but this is actually key, which I like, which is in seasons 1 through 4 of Babylon 5, we get these god characters, these god races. And season 5 almost gets hilarious in the degree that the stakes get so much lower. And as an example, we have the White Star Fleet is going to be betrayed by the Drazi and get destroyed, or the Rangers, the most powerful thing that have been fighting against the Shadows, randomly are like running up against a 2-bit mob on the station, which again is whenever, Superman crosses over into a Batman storyline. So I would ask David, how did that land for you in season 5? How the stakes just got so dramatically lowered, but we kept all the same characters who last season were fighting gods, and this season they're like, how am I going to handle this smuggler on Babylon 5?
So it's funny. I totally know what you're saying. It reminds me of Supernatural, where I love that first few seasons of the show. And then I think in season 5, they battled Lucifer from hell. And I was like, all right, well, where do you go from there, right? You've kind of now gone over the might against the most mighty evil ever. Everything else is going to be like, all right, well, now it's Super Lucifer. Now you're fighting God. It was like, okay, let's tone it down a little bit. But it's kind of the same thing. Since I'm from a comic book world too, I can appreciate the Justice League galactic battles versus the, hey, now we're going to focus on something a little smaller. I think they just didn't do a great job.
Now, David, you're going to be one of the few guests that gets a chance for redemption. Are you ready for another chance at 2 truths and a lie?
Yep, I'm with it.
Yeah, we all do not go into a quiz against a Slater if you get nothing else from this episode, and don't let Karen's demeanor fool you.
You either have to defeat the Slater or kill the Slater.
Or marry the Slater.
Or marry the Slater. It works sometimes.
Defeat. Yeah, instead of the bad one, the less conventional, we could have the defeat, murder, defeat, kill, marry. There we go. I like that. All right. So take number 2, David. All right. I'm going to read off the 3. Okay. So again, this is season 5, Babylon 5, 2 truths and a lie. Your game is to determine which of these is the lie. Number 1, Lita and Byron's relationship was originally intended to be between Byron and Lanier. Number 2, Londo goes through a plot line intended for Ivanova, where he's in a coma. And number 3, Lita experiences death by telepathically controlling a dying man.
He's suggesting, based on the last quiz, that they're all lies. No, I'm just kidding. I'll go with 3. For no particular
nice.
reason.
David, you missed twice. You are the biggest failure of this quiz on this episode, barring
You
us
are
changing
the biggest loser.
And this was all just a plot for Mike to, we've learned this episode, team up to be even meaner to a lifelong friend. How are you guys friends? But anyway, beep, Mike, what is that?
Well, that's somebody else entering the arena from the back. We have Evynne Stoitley coming in. Oh my God, what is that she's carrying? Is that a Gatling gun? David, watch out. That's not illegal. That's not legal. That's not allowed. Oh no. Well, this is chaos. Quick, Evynne, how you doing?
I'm swell. How are y'all?
Pretty good. There's a problem, though, I see with you. You know what that problem is?
What is that problem?
There is a hole in your mind, and we're about to fill it with Babylon 5 Season 5 facts.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep it together for the rest of this, Mike. That is the most hilarious thing.
Maybe there's a hole in your mind. It could be a problem.
It could be. The doctors told me that I probably should be worried, but instead I'm on a podcast, so let's do this.
David, as with the other one, you're willing to stick around for 15 minutes while we start giving Evynne the 3rd degree?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
So Evynne, this is huge.
Yes. Oh,
We got to remember. So for people that have forgotten, season 1, episode 22, Chrysalis, you did the season finale. I think our 2nd or 3rd guest. Absolute fantastic get. You started a segment that I want to keep going. I haven't had time for, but you explained a hilarious, like, behind the scene thing. Like, I love noticing plot holes on the show, and you noticed parts about it. I questioned if you were secretly JMS in disguise. So for those that have forgotten, again, go check out episode on Chrysalis with Evynne. But what I was, and apologies if I'm getting like slightly off on ends, but all I was going to say there is, questions we've been asking all of our returning guests. Thank you again so much for being on. But question number 1, you started in season 1 of Babylon 5. Since then, have you watched any more Babylon 5, any more content, even like what happens on the show?
I have. Here's what I did in preparation for this. Okay, I went pretty hard. I watched season 5, episode 6.
What? Mike,
and
you bastard. Why did you do this to one of your friends?
I didn't have it, Evynne. This is all on Evynne.
This is my whole. If there's nothing else I care about, I want to be a good podcast.
Evynne takes what we do seriously.
And not only did I do that,
to our own detriment, but okay.
Not only did I do that, I watched every No, I'm just kidding. I didn't do that, but I did read a plot synopsis for every episode of the season, which I didn't understand.
You did watch episode 6?
I did watch episode 6. I read the plot synopsis first, which I should have done. I should have watched the episode, gotten to know who everyone was a little better, and then read all the plot synopsises for the season, because reading the plot synopsises for the season was when I don't know the characters very well. It's a little difficult. Doesn't make a lot of... there's a little context missing. But now that I watched the episode, I've actually punched up the plot summary.
You're the first one to do that, so maybe we should go right into it. Do you want to...
Okay, I get to have fun now, because there's a punch-up. We've been having the guest read the original summary. Spoiler, which I think you're probably already aware of. We have our own, but now you have yours. So I'll do one, Evan, you can do 2. Mike, you can do 3. And then David, you can be the judge. All right.
Ooh.
This isn't me. I'm representing it, but this is like TV guide. All right. Bester comes for the telepaths. Lockley sends Garibaldi to the brig. Delenn chooses a bodyguard for Londo. All
Sounds
right.
legit. All right, Evan, let's hear your punch up.
All right. It's very similar, but there are a few added words here and there. Alfred Thought Police Bester comes for the telepaths. Captain Elizabeth negotiating with terrorist Lockley sends Garibaldi and the 2 giant caterpillars playing his eyebrows to the brig. Delenn, nominated for the Best Head Thingy Award 3 years in a row, chooses a bodyguard for Londo, winner of the Best Head Thingy Award 3 years in a row.
Nice. All right, that's a lot to live up to because mine is totally off base. For the one that I thought we had for the recap, it said, the Psi Corps takes a field trip to Babylon 5. Lita discovers a weakness for Byron's dick. Lockley reveals she was married to Sheridan. That's my best summation. David, who did it the best here?
It's pretty good, but I hate Mike, so Evan.
I would have said the exact same thing.
Your voice was so good for it, though. It was the perfect announcer voice. You should start doing trailers, really.
Yeah, I did a podcast instead. The problem is I can only say things properly if they're written in front of me. Everything else is just gobbledygook when I talk. Gobbledygook.
Kind of proving your own point there, unless this is all scripted, which it might be. For the listeners at home, you don't know.
Yeah.
Where's the curtain? Am I playing a character? Maybe I've watched all of Babylon 5. You don't know.
Well, I was going to say,
don't know.
we have fallen on our face in that the first couple of guests hadn't checked out anymore, and I was hoping that was the case. And we've now had David watch the entire dang show. You actually caught up on some episodes, so I there was automatically a zag to my zig. We actually will get a chance to talk some Babylon 5 proper here because of that. But I'll say just a few other things we want to do. Since we last spoke, any plugs, anything new you want to make sure our listeners know about you, places to find you on the internet, projects, etc.
Me?
Yes.
I got less to plug now than I did last time, so I'm all good for now.
We had the Evan X Evan channel you were plugging last time. Have there been any new YouTube content?
No, nothing since then. Hit me up in 3 years. I'll have a comic for people to buy, but not now.
That's right. We are going to do a comic season eventually and definitely have you back for that. We're definitely going to want some more artists on for that. But yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm excited.
Is there anything that you'd like to recommend that our listeners should check out that maybe isn't Babylon 5 Season 5?
Oh, geez. Well, to jump way into a different world, if you haven't either watched the anime or read the manga of Hunter x Hunter, check it out. It's so good it made me drop out of college. That's all I'll say.
Ooh, that's powerful stuff.
Yeah. Music college, so not sure if that fully counts.
Yeah.
But,
So this episode that we had, you actually watched episode 6.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your impressions of Babylon 5 Season 5 as compared to, because you got to see Chrysalis, which is a seminal episode. It's very key. It moves the plot along nice.
Right.
And now you're coming back into a show where the plot is done and they're trying to figure out what else to do. Did you have any impressions of the episode?
So what's the name of the leader of the telepaths?
It's Byron.
Byron. I wonder how long that episode had been if he had given a straight answer. If he had just said things without dancing around it for a solid 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's Byron's kind of whole shtick for about 10 episodes. Because eventually, to spoil things later, Byron takes kind of a heel turn down the road that is almost, you can see how it's motivated, but it's kind of an extreme move where it seems like we just got to finish up this telepath plot and get him into a situation where we can be past it.
Okay. That's an interesting metaphor if you think about it, but we don't have to think about it here. Why would the oppressed telepaths be evil in the end? That would be crazy.
This is fun to talk about almost how Babylon 5 Season 5 lets down the rest, which is Babylon 5, you saw Chrysalis, which is the start of the Earth Civil War, the start of the Shadow War, this thing that takes a bunch. We have been kind of slowly building this telepath conflict. In fact, in Season 4, we had episodes where, Lita, our telepath, was like, man, someday there's going to be a major conflict with telepaths, and I just hope I'm not around to see it. He opens it up in this season, and you're seeing the start of it. And as Mike noted, the spoilers, Byron just comes out and is like, give us our own planet. They say no. Earth says we got to shut it down, and they all wind up dying and disappearing. So it's like we had the antithesis of what the show had done before, which is this slow buildup, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. We're like, wow, that was huge. And they're like, oh my God, it's going to be huge. And they're like, is it huge? Like, no, it's actually a 6-episode mini arc, which ends pretty unspectacularly.
You know, it's interesting. I see this with a lot of stories, and this is not something that I saw. This is something that I heard from just now. But like the grander the ideas and the more related they are to real things on Earth, I think the more thought out they have to be in terms of where they're going to end. Because like, if you're just looking to close up a plot line, and that plot line is like a metaphor for like minorities. You probably want to think just like get a plot outline before you start throwing that around and start having heel turns and explosions and mass death. Because
just
to think about.
This is another X-Men parallel with the show, because there's the whole X-Men as the persecuted minority, but they also have superpowers and can blow anything up at any time. And this is exactly what's going on with the telepaths in this. They're like casting them as the refugees who don't have a home, but at any time they could like steal everybody's minds. Right.
And also, like, let me just say, the whole like, if we're violent, we're just as bad as them thing has always made no sense to me, because there's just inherently this large difference between stepping on someone's neck and punching the guy who's stepping on your neck. Like,
yes,
it's not a fair comparison,
And we did have one of those comps in season 1. Evan, thank you again so much. Multiple punches up on the show, but we do not let any guests leave empty-handed. You get to leave with a certified Mike Slater quiz.
Oh, yeah.
2 truths and a lie. Beautiful. Hopefully you know how this game works. We're going to tell you 3 things. 2 of them are true. 1 of them is a lie. If you select the one that is a lie, you win. What do you win? Nothing.
$1 million. Oh, nothing? Oh, okay.
You win the adoration and love of Babylon 5 fans ever.
But here we go. All right, the 3 things. Number 1, season 5 spends an entire episode following 2 maintenance workers who will never appear again. Number 2, Sheridan keeps his combative ex close to his new wife, just to stir shit up.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that one's just real. I'm pretty sure.
Hey.
I remember that.
No metagaming the game. No metagaming the game. What are you doing?
I'm playing the game.
3.
What do you want me to do?
I want you to not play the game so we can play
the game.
No, showing your work. Don't listen to your teachers. All right. It turns out that the Drazi eradicated a parallel species on their planet, think Neanderthal the human, and it's slowly killing out their race. Out of shame, they almost destroy the entire White Star fleet.
That also sounds like a thing. It sounds like it shouldn't be a thing, but it sounds like it is a thing, because I feel like you wouldn't make that up, but you might make that up. I'm going to go with number 1 is the lie.
All right, awesome. You do fail, and you were right on your logic on number 3. I was a jerk. Number 3 is true, but I stitched together multiple bullshit plots. So that all happens, but it's not the Drazi that have the parallel race. It's another race. I've already forgotten their name. Someone might know what that race is called. It wasn't them, and they do almost destroy it. So it's not full truth. Now, but anyway, what? Beep. What, Mike, what is that noise?
That's the sound of the Zamboni coming through. And what's it doing? Oh, it's showing David out. Oh, he's riding the Zamboni. That monkey is being pushed out. Oh, but what's that? What's that coming in at the doors right as the Zamboni? Oh my God, I think he's eating the Zamboni. Holy crap, this is an amazing entrance. It's Karl Wolf, our previous guest, coming on to talk about Babylon 5, Season 5. Karl, how you doing?
Hanging in there, man. Hanging in there.
Yeah, hey, Karl, I see something going on with your head. Is there something? There is a hole in your mind.
Oh, God.
Although I think you have more Babylon 5 Season 5 knowledge than most people we've talked to already so far.
It's been a few years since I've watched the whole season, but I remember most of it.
Karl, welcome back. For people that have forgotten,
thank you.
Karl was a fun 2-part first for the show. Number 1, you were the first person to do a collaboration episode. We did War Without an End, parts 1 and 2. So you were the first guest to do both. And I think at the time you were the first guest that actually had a large familiarity with the show. If anything, Mike is your thrall. You were the person that got Mike Slater into Babylon 5.
It's true.
We'd had people like Evynne on who had not seen the show, introduce, what do you think? How could you punch up great stuff? You actually knew it, which was, kind of a break from our thing. So we're going into season 5 of Babylon 5. You kind of already answered the first question. You haven't really watched more since your episode, but that's because you've seen it all. You've seen it all already.
Dozens of times.
And then anything, we're going to limit you to one. But anything you think our listeners should check out, because we are contractually obligated to tell people stuff they should check out. And we don't think you should check out Babylon 5 season 5, although our last 3 guests have all checked it out. And for that, I am sorry.
Well, I definitely think Outer Wilds, it's not television, but it is one of the best media out there.
Video game, right?
It's a video game. It is. It's definitely life-changing. If you can't play it, watch a playthrough. It's definitely worth it. But, like The Expanse, Battlestar Galactica, of course, all that good stuff.
Bears, Beats, Battlestar Galactica, check them all out. I've also got to say, I'm fine peeking behind the curtain a little more. I appreciate you because if I understand this correctly, you are leaving a parade to come and do this.
Yes. Yeah, it's the St. Patrick's Parade here in Detroit. And so I just stepped away down into my friend's studio to hang out with you guys.
You left that to talk Babylon 5. I don't know if that elevates your nerd cred. I don't know what that is something. So I appreciate you so much on that. Since you're one of the people that is able to talk, much like our prior guest, you're still around and you are welcome to pipe in as much as you would like. You actually have some thoughts on Babylon 5. Let's give people some context to where they are. We are on to episode 7.
Read dramatically. Secrets of the Soul. Franklin discovers a century-old secret while collecting information on diseases. Byron and Lita reach an understanding.
Are you sure that was the right one? Because when I saw it, I could have sworn the episode was all about Lita and Byron straight up bone after a pal gets beaten up. And Franklin sciences his way into a Star Trek-style plot with some genocidal aliens.
Okay, Karl, I can't believe I'm bringing you in for this. I'm half sorry. No, I'm not sorry at all. Mike and I had a philosophical debate where I qualify, so Evan, to keep you in the loop, Lita and Byron are telepaths. They eventually have sex, breaking the wall of Babylon 5 being a chaste show. They're telepaths, and we've been told this. When telepaths have sex, their minds bounce off of each other. So it's like
mirrors.
It's an ultra orgasm. Yeehaw. Also,
Lita is, of course, evolved by the Vorlons, so she broadcasts it to everybody.
Mm-hmm. So as they're having sex, they're mirroring each other, boom, 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 and they're in a telepathic colony, and all of the telepaths hear it, and they all just creepily come forward and watch them have sex and watch this vision. I qualified that in the notes, and Mike eventually conceded as an orgy, but I think just that counts, right?
Were they just watching? It depends on if they were watching.
More like a voyeur kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
But that would still count, right?
Yeah, that's what I said. Because they were all just kind of like gesticulating around a little bit, so it may have seemed like an orgy, but they had their clothes on, and the two telepaths who were actually fucking in the middle did not.
I mean, it kind of is, but I don't think Lita and Byron were aware or cared about them.
Oh, no,
it was a communal event. Yes,
they were pretty locked into
when
each
you're
other.
When you're in the orgy having a profound sexual experience with one or two of the members, the rest of the people, they fall away in a way.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna
know.
I'm gonna know.
Wink,
I'm gonna try and fix this, but to say, since they're telepaths and are able to feel the emotion and could feel it, does that potentially lean? Because you're saying they're voyeurs, they're just watching. But since they're telepaths, they would actually be able to feel the emotions and stuff.
No, I'm on your side now.
Okay.
I think that's veering into orgy territory.
Okay, now, Karl, what were your feelings watching Babylon 5 Season 5 live, sorry for the rhyme, when it happened?
Oh, we were very grateful that we had the opportunity to have the 5th season. And then the Turner Network was dumped in a ton of money into the project. So they had a bunch of made-for-TV movies. There were ads for it and, tons of praise. And so it was vindication of the importance of the show. Now, the actual run of 5th season is sometimes controversial because, JMS, I think, squished all 5 years into 4 years because he was convinced that they weren't going to get the 5th year. And so he had to drag out, fewer storylines over an entire series. So like the quality of, especially the first half of fifth season is a little debatable. But no, it was great. And View from the Gallery was an important episode because it triggered the creation of a fan club starting in England that I joined up with called Views from the Gallery. And I befriended a bunch of folks in England that were part of that group. And it was like tons of debate, kind of like here, about an analysis about the different episodes and how everything connected. And so it was good in that regards. And obviously it was leading up to the grand finale of Sleeping in Light. So that was something I was very curious about, is like, how is this all going to connect with the final end cap? And I had my own theories about the conclusion to the Drock issue that was brought up. But it was with this extra room, we could flesh out like more of the story of the races, that inhabited this world, such as the Hayek, who kind of like the Centauri had a similar story where they killed off like a sister race that had lived on their planet, and the aftermath of that, and obviously exploring the, arc B, I guess, with Lita and Byron, and the final confirmation, which we already kind of knew, that the Vorlons had created telepaths in all of their allied races to fight the shadows. And what is the implication of that? And that Lita is more than just a regular telepath. She's something special.
Well, yeah, you see what happens when she and Byron get together. All the have an orgy.
There is a bunch more to say. I will say on the parallel race, which was actually the theme of this episode. I didn't hate that as kind of a standalone season one kind of episode, which was very fascinating, but it just, also kind of felt out of place, not in a bad way, and that it's like everything's going slow, and so we're going back to season one.
In a way, yeah, it was kind of felt like season one in a lot of regards. It was kind of like, we're reintroducing Babylon 5 to this new audience that's not going to go back and watch all the previous four seasons.
By nature of what happening on the show, they had to. And we already talked about this, where it's like there's so many resets that was forced upon Babylon 5. The season 2 captain shift, we have a literal another captain shift at season 5, even though through different reasons. With Evynne gone, it feels like such a jarring move for people who have put a lot of stock into the series.
Yeah, they even made a new pilot in the beginning, and they also actually thankfully put in a lot of money to kind of remaster, redo, re-edit The Gathering, which was actually an improvement. Re-edit.
I haven't seen The Gathering. I haven't revisited that in a long time because I watched that a few years ago.
Yeah, because the original version for the Paramount Network, which started the whole thing, they remastered it, and Christopher Frank, was not initially involved with the production. He made new music for The Gathering. So all of that came out in the season 5 budget. And so Third Space and In the Beginning and the remaster, rework of The Gathering, that was all part of the 5th season budget. And that was all fabulous.
I got to give a brief capper on that before we let you do your quiz, and we'll see if we extend you a little based on what we're doing, Karl. But I will say that was fascinating looking into the Babylon 5 TV movies, where there is, old J. Michael Straczynski, the showrunner, talking about it. And the budget was still on par with like an episode of Star Trek, just to put into people's minds comparison and where their expectations should lie. Because I have found that going through and being like, oh man, why this just isn't the same quality of Star Trek. And there's just a very simple answer, which JMS would answer. You'd be like, yeah, we got a $3 million budget to do this made for TV movie, which is, 2.5 times a normal episode. And it's, how much did Star Trek cost at that time? It's, $2 million an episode. You're like, oh, okay. No wonder your made for TV movie is on par with the Star Trek episode. It had the same budget as one. Yep. Now, you may get stretched a little bit in the future here. We may check out a box. We'll find out. But we've been ending every guest with a custom-made Mike Slater game. 2 truths and a lie.
Oh, you had a lot to do with it. On me.
Okay, don't do anything, Mike. So, Mike, I got to run this one entirely. So we got 2 truths and a lie. Karl, are you ready for 2 truths and a lie about season 5 of Babylon 5?
I'm ready.
All right. Number 1. Minbari jump at the chance to exploit a lesser race, the Pak'ma'ra, as spies. Number 2. The show treats the secrets of 2 main characters having dated once before being a major plot secret for 6 episodes. And number 3. We discover a telepath with telekinetic abilities who can hold off all of Babylon 5 security, and nothing's ever done with it.
Well, the lie, you said 2 truths and a lie. The lie is the first one, I believe.
I'm sorry, Karl. I'm not sorry. We hate our guests, I guess. All three of those were true. All three of those were true.
Man.
It was we Kobayashi marooned you.
Oh my God.
That was the surprise. Although I will say that in reading it now, the second one, the show treats the secret of two main characters having dated once.
Well, that's
is
Lockley
true,
and Sheridan.
but it's kind of a lie because they were married. You can see it as.
Yes.
They married without dating, Mike.
That's just it. They did probably. You assume
They
they
got married in
dated.
Vegas or something. Yeah.
I thought that was you being a little more clever, Mike, and just trying to kind of phrase it in a way like I've seen you do this before in quiz.
Yeah.
Phrase it just cleverly enough to sneak past the Raiders. So if you'd said married, boom, we're like, of course that's
Yup.
Lockley.
That's exactly what I was
Actually, I
trying
don't
to do.
remember the Pac Mara being involved with the
That was
Minbari.
that was a
interesting.
nice slider.
It's very slight, but there's a whole subplot about where the Rangers are talking about, well, should we use them? They're like lesser beings. Okay, we'll let them on, but have them do the dirty work because they're the carrion eaters. And that's how like the Pakmara get in. That's how the Pakmara get in to actually be some Rangers towards the end.
I do remember that there was a debate about letting the Pac Mara in, but I had forgotten that second
they're
aspect.
like, we can't let them in as Rangers and Blends. What if we exploit them? And they're like, that's a good. So, Mike, I know we've been having people come into the ring, but we're going to change things up a little. For our next episode, we're going to have our guests, because you both did the homework that you shouldn't have done. Karl, you didn't have a choice. You did it in the past. It's not your fault. Evynne, it's true. What are you doing? But thank you. By the way, thank you so much. And thank you for the punch. If that was an amazing surprise. Yes.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
But what I was going to say is we do have one more episode to get through. And then we're going to give you both a chance to redeem yourselves on Two Truths and a Lie. So, Mike, I'm just going to go ahead and read it.
This is your recap.
I'm going to read episode 8, Day of the Dead. The Brakiri rent a portion of Babylon 5 for a religious ceremony. A famous comedy team visits the ship. Ship?
No.
They called it a ship, Mike? What are you
It's a station, yeah.
It's a station, not a ship. Okay, and I didn't write ship. That's TV Guide. All right.
Get it together.
No, I took it in a totally different direction. What I saw when I watched this episode was the dead speak. Coincidentally, Penn and Teller are there. Yep. Penn and Teller are in this episode of Babylon 5 as what, the Zoot guy?
Yes, Rebo and Zudi.
Rebo and Zudi.
I
Yeah,
know
so they've been referred to several times in the past as the favorite future comedians, and they got Penn and Teller to be on the show to play the comedians.
And I am fine to briefly stay here in something about Babylon 5, Season 5 that was just remarkable, Mike, which is, yeah, we do have there's this ancient celebration that happens once every 200 years, and a bunch of ghosts appear on Babylon 5 and speak to our characters. And it's weird because they're like innocuous, but then at the end, every ghost is, oh, by the way, I heard this from the afterlife. So that all happens. All right, we're doing Two Truths and a Lie really quickly because the show just ramped up really fast. Evynne and Karl, whoever buzzes in first wins. You all know the rules. Two truths and a lie. First one to buzz in gets it. Babylon 5, Season 5. Number 1, the most I'm clearly flustered. Apologize. Number 1. Okay, Evynne, you already lost, but Karl, you have a chance.
I got excited. You said the first to buzz in.
Karl, you have a chance to tie
buzzing
now.
in for each question or after all three are read?
Fortune favors the bold. Fortune favors the bold. Fortune favors the bold.
No, three's the lie. Three's the lie. No, two. I'm sticking with two.
You've already buzzed in. You already buzzed in. Evynne, you are out. Karl, you have a chance.
Okay.
We've been Monty Halled. It is not number 2, but I'm going to read all 3 anyway. Number 1, the most powerful telepath in the known universe joins a cult. That's number 1. Number 2, which we already know is not a lie. The new captain proves her worth to the crew by rubbing Bester's face over regulations on telepaths. And number 3, the new doctor on the ship gets a full ER-style episode handling a tough alien medical case, clearly a backdoor pilot that went nowhere.
I think that one's a lie.
Okay,
I don't remember that at all.
Karl and Evynne, you tie each other. We end in a draw. Fantastic. Thank you both for being on. And
My favorite outcome.
Nice. So good having you guys on again.
Thank you for having us.
Mike, this is bizarre. I'm hearing a double ring. I'm hearing 2 buzzers going off in my ear.
Whoa, we did not expect this tonight at the Blitzcast, but there appears to be a tag team coming in out of nowhere. It's the tag team we all know of Naj and Nate Flynn coming down the aisle. What are you doing here, Naj?
I am walking down a hallway and it's completely smoky, and you just see me flexing my absolutely huge biceps. and I have a fried chicken in each hand. That's what I'm doing right now.
She has been in training for so long. This is the comeback we've been waiting for.
Naj, I have an announcement to make for you. I'm looking at you right now. There's something wrong with your head.
Oh no.
There is a hole in your mind. And we're going to fill it with some Babylon 5 Season 5 facts.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we had a tag team enter the ring. We have Naj from Season 2, Episode 22, The Fall of the Night.
And who came in with Naj?
We have Nate, one of the Flint brothers, who did a 2-team episode, Season 4, Episodes 1 and 2, The Hour of the Wolf, and Whatever Happened to Mr. Garibaldi. By the way, Nate, we find out about that, including Season 5, and it's just bad.
Well, I was coming in prepared to tell you I have watched a bit more Babylon 5.
Ooh.
Mostly because I want to keep my podcast guest GPA really high.
You've done a surprise. The first several guests hadn't, and I was like, I hope no one else has watched it. And then every guest since then has watched more Babylon 5. So we'll see. Naj, can you restore my faith in humanity? Since we last had you on, which was a season finale, Season 2, have you watched any more Babylon 5?
I have not.
Thank you.
I'm like a fresh little baby. I'm a receptacle ready to be filled with Babylon 5 knowledge right now.
All right, now we'll start with Naj. Anything since you were last on the show to plug, hype about yourself to tell listeners to check out?
Yeah, sure. So since the last time we spoke, I've been producing at an indie game studio. So we have a game coming out called Spirits of Hidewood, which is very exciting. And I've joined an indie game marketing agency called Secret Sauce. So look out for stuff from them as well. So those are the two main things for me, but otherwise it's been busy.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, we had so much. If I'm recalling your episode right, one of the things I loved is you brought up tentpole parts. And because you had so much of the game development and stuff, you were even talking about viewing the episodes like that, which I really loved. All right, now, same boat. That is a tough act to follow. But Nate, anything since the last episode to plug? And if I recall in the last episode, you said you didn't want to plug anything. So I'm putting you on the spot in a weird spot there.
Nope, I had nothing to plug. We talked about how I used to play in a band with Mike, and I moved away. I've since then tried to play with a band that I found on social media that was looking for somebody, and I wasn't interested in it after one practice. So still nothing to plug. Yeah, that's going to happen. That's probably going to happen
to
more and more
spoil
often than
ahead,
not.
Mike, for the next season of You Got to Check This Out proper, which will be music themed, everybody. But there will be a lot more music talk. And as a non-musician, it is so fascinating to hear about band dynamics, forming, etc. All right. Now, with that in mind, other thing to go for, we can let our guests fight. This has been fun having the guests fight, Mike. We'll start with Nate this time. We are contractually obligated to tell people there's something I got to check out. We do not think anybody should check out Babylon 5 Season 5. How Mike got so many people to agree to come on and talk it and even trick some of you into watching it is beyond me. But Nate, is there a thing you think our listeners should check out? It can be anything.
And Naj, you can jump in for the steal if you have something.
You jump in. I'm going to have a lot of hemming and
This was not a competition, but yeah.
So I've a game that's come out recently, which has been living in my head rent free, which is Resident Evil Requiem. So for all you horror fans, it is. No, it's a game. So
I thought you said book. I was like you read the novelization of a game.
Novelization of Resident Evil.
That might not be too bad. I love those TV
crazy
novelizations of movies as a kid.
Yeah, I did. I had the Lara Croft Tomb Raider one with starring Angelina Jolie, so that was fun.
So Resident Evil Requiem, though.
Resident Evil Requiem, it's number 9. It has a Leon Kennedy who has been in 2, 4, and 6, along with a lot of their other transmedia stuff like their shows and movies and whatnot. And he makes an appearance in this as well. And it's fantastic. There's 2 modes of gameplay. One where you play as Leon Kennedy and it's more action oriented. You feel like a badass. You're suplexing and kicking things. But then there's the other side where you're playing as Grace Ashcroft. And she's an FBI agent, and she's way less capable. So she's having to sneak around, and it's really horror focused in that way. The dread is amazing. So definitely, this is my thing to check out.
I just read they had a long form article in the AV Club about a week ago that goes through the entire history of the plot of Resident Evil for the release of this game. And that was such a fun read too. Oh my God, so much happened with just corporations turning people into zombies.
Yes. I imagine it's got that tone perfectly right. So I imagine a lot of you out there who love Babylon 5 are probably going to, find something you love about Resident Evil if you played it before.
They got Zach Krieger is making the next Resident Evil movie after Barbarian and Weapons, which were two of my favorite recent horror movies.
That.
Yeah.
Yes.
I The Fifth Element probably seeded this, but I did not hate the Mila Jovovich Resident Evil.
Oh, no, those are fun.
I got you.
All right. But okay. So by the way, Nate, that we have given you plenty of time. Is there anything worth fighting for in the world? And if the answer is no, I might actually be on your side.
Actually, I would also recommend Weapons, but that's kind of cheating because that just came up in the conversation while I was buying time. I'll recommend a book. Most people are probably not going to be interested in it, but it's called Crucible of War by Fred Anderson. And it's about the French and Indian War, or what's called the 7 Years' War, which is like about 15 years before the American Revolution. And it was a big sprawling war between England and France on a lot of it on the North American continent, but it was the First World War. But that's just a great long history book, and I read it and I enjoyed it, and I've thought about it many times in the about 2 years since I finished it.
And to do a weird callback, Mike, because I've already brought this up as one of my sort of shout outs, like me too, as I started watching the show Ghosts, because Instagram tricked me into it.
Yes.
The French-American War makes an appearance on a recent episode because we do have British and U.S. colonists as ghosts
they
on that show.
They produced some ghosts there too with that war.
All right. So with that in mind, we actually are going to talk a little Babylon 5. We are up to season 5, episode 9, In the Kingdom of the Blind. What we've been doing is we've been having our guests read it and then giving our response. What I'm going to do this time is, Nate, if you look in the chat, there is a recap of the episode. If you've been reading TV Guide at the time, or this is on Roku or Tubi or wherever Babylon 5 has fallen, this is the description of the episode. Do you want to tell our listeners what the episode is about?
Okay, the summary is Byron's telepaths give the Alliance an ultimatum. Londo and Jakar make an unsettling visit to Centauri Prime.
Now, I'm actually going to do a swap, which is I'm going to say, Naj, we have a slightly different one that we came up with. Would you be kind enough to read that for our listeners?
In a sweet heel turn, the telepaths blackmail Sheridan. Londo and Jakar discover shenanigans are afoot on Centauri Prime.
Now, oddly enough, that is one of the few descriptions where so just to keep you both in the loop, this is one of the few where they seem to line up. And I am trying to think with both of your episodes, just to talk a little Babylon 5, in theory, the purpose of the show, Mike, how much these line up. Now, actually, for you, Naj, this lines up a lot, which is you saw The Fall of the Night, which was the Centauri, the peacock head people, bomb the lizard people, the Narn.
Yeah. Yes.
And we have a weird resolution here, which is that war has wrapped up, but Londo and Jakar go back to the Centauri homeworld. And we kind of discover that there is something creepy going on. It's almost, I'm going to keep doing ghosts. It's almost as if the regent, the acting emperor of Centauri Prime has been corrupted by something. And Londo and Jakar are like, this is spooky, we should leave. And then the other major thing, and it doesn't relate a ton, although Nate, you did see a lot of Centauri and Narn on your episode. But the other major thing is the telepaths in this universe have been getting just fed up at being used as fodder in various wars. And Byron, who's this weird cult leader, blackmails every diplomat on the station, revealing a major security hole, which is you have put a diplomat of every major race in one spot where telepaths are alive.
There is a hole in your security.
Oh my God, Mike, that's it. We need to do that commercial for that. But yeah, the telepath's like, yeah, we literally just read all your minds and have all your secrets. And you're like, oh, so in this universe, there is no defense against telepaths. Good to know. And he demands a planet for telepaths. And they all say no, just because that's to keep you both in the loop. You both saw 2 good shows with a lot of good reasoning. And Nate, I even think you were like defending it. And I remember Naj, same boat. You both, with your backgrounds, were like, oh yeah, this makes sense. Sheridan's, no, we can't do that. And you're like, why? And he's just, I don't know. One of the characters even, isn't that what you did all of season 4? Is, yeah, you're right. I plot. So that's where we are in season 5.
So it's something clearly that they could have the means to give to the telepaths, but they throw it down right away. And on the flip side, this is a huge escalation in what the telepaths have been asking for. Because up until this point, they've only been asking to be refugees on Babylon 5. Notably, everybody's treating them like they're unsure of them because they're telepaths and they can enter everybody's mind. And they're treated like a lesser class, like X-Men. It's that weird mixed metaphor where, like, all right, we're going to represent refugees and these lower class people, but they have the power to kill us all and take us over at any moment.
The telepath thing was interesting. So what I did, I watched the first 2 episodes of season 4 for my last appearance. What I decided to do was I watched the last 2 episodes of season 4, and then in between I watched every episode that ends with the number 5.
Oh, that's cool.
There was a lot of talking about telepaths, but the only telepath character that I remember from my first appearance didn't seem to be featuring in anything in any significant way. The one that got the ghost sucked out of her eyeballs.
Yeah, she's the redheaded telepath, and she's the one who's becoming out of favor with the main Babylon 5 cast as they just treat her like, you helped us big time in the war, but you're just a telepath, so we don't have to treat you with any respect. So she gets in with the telepath refugees, and they work together to get that whole the blackmail thing where they're like, no, we want a planet now and you'll give it to us or we'll fuck up your minds and reveal all your secrets.
Yeah. It was, I think I got lucky with that strategy of dipping back into the show because I saw Bryan Cranston get talked into being a kamikaze pilot.
That was a good one.
That was pretty funny. I saw a show featuring really bad Russian accents and Walter Koenig, but not Walter Koenig doing the really bad Russian accent. There was like a temporary president of Earth or something, and
that
she had
killed me in that episode.
Terrible Russian accent. And then Walter Koenig was also on Mr. Chekhov from the original Star Trek playing.
Sorry, Nate, to cut in. You get bonus points because you are literally like, I put that in the notes. Mike and me passed notes as we watch, and I was just like, this is taking me out of it. I'm like, I cannot deal with this right now. And you're repeating. So that's bonus points. Awesome.
So just as a little aside, I used to do theater when I was in high school. And when I was a senior in high school, I was in a play that I was a Russian character and I had to do a Russian accent. And my mom, who is a speech therapist, ordered me audio tapes that kind of teach actors how to train a Russian accent. So I probably studied those for a few weeks and then did this play. This woman's Russian accent on the show was giving me vibes of me studying up for that senior in high school.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she probably was about as good as I ended up.
Done a couple weeks of prep and got the accent ready and go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, that's the main thing for the episode. Was there anything else big on this? It's just they did a lot of debate about whether to give the telepaths the planet, and Sheridan said a big ol' no.
We can maybe cheat a little because I like cheating and talking cool stuff with our guests. Like Naj, you're saying, you're like making indie games and all that and have a bunch of experience. The biggest issue we seem to have in season 5 is that there is not the runway for the plots they've set up. They've set up this big telepath thing, and it should be a very grand story. And again, it ends in about 6 to 8 episodes, probably if we really condense it, about 4 episodes, Mike, if you cut out all the other stuff happening. If you only had one season, like 1/5 to do a mini game or something, and you wrapped everything in your prior 4, but you have to use all of your prior characters, most of whom have arcs that have completed. That's one of my biggest complaints about the season, Mike, is Londo is done, but Londo is a primary actor. So they keep going back to Londo and almost watering down his arc because they do that.
So they just continued on. What I would do is probably find ways to tell stories from different characters' perspectives that add a different flavor to what we've seen throughout the course of the season. So we might, for example, one character we might be like totally on side with 100% of the way they're the hero of the show. But maybe in the later seasons, we have an episode where we're seeing it from somebody on the other side. And actually, it's not as straightforward. And actually, maybe this character does have shades of not so good things to them. But certainly, when we're talking about power dynamics as well, we're talking about political intrigue and stuff like that. It's like what we said during my episode, great villains are nuanced, and no villain actually thinks they're doing the wrong or evil thing. Everyone has good and relatable reasons for what they're doing, even if they go about it in the wrong way. So that's personally what I would fix.
Yeah, to go into what you said about bringing somebody new, that's exactly what you need to do to revitalize a story. It's a matter of making things interesting out of what's built before that can build a new plot. And what I thought was interesting about season 5 is the character of Byron, the lead telepath who's speaking for all of them and making these negotiations. What I realized on my second time watching the thing is like, oh, they're trying to set him as the next Sinclair Sheridan type person because they need a very diplomatic leader that knows all the ins and outs of all the political factions and then knows how to talk to all of them. The problem is Byron had no charisma whatsoever. For at least when I was watching, he's just like this very overly serious, dramatic, like almost like a Shakespearean presence on there. And we needed someone that we can really identify with, as opposed to someone that seems alien and you really can't identify with what they're doing. And then on top of that, the big sell that he has in this episode, it really doesn't come out for me from what he did before. He was always trying to be diplomatic, and then it's like, all right, fuck it. We're just going to blackmail all of you to get our own planet, which was never the goal before.
Right.
It's what I love. And you're actually identifying an episode Mike has said we may return to. There is one episode with the Psi Corps where we follow Bester, who's our villain, and we follow some interns with them as they're solving a case. And it was really interesting, but it's a one-off. So you're actually identifying, they did try and do some of that. They just didn't do enough of it. So actually what I like is that what you're saying, this season bifurcated in a few ways, and they did do one of that. They did have a few one-off shows following people around. They kind of needed to they kind of needed to go all in on that, and they didn't. So that's actually refreshing, because that was something JMS tried, but just didn't go all in on. And that's your answer, is go all in on those stories. Leave these other ones behind, which I agree with, and Mike and I agree with. All right, we are going to end with a quiz. And since there are two of you, you came in as a tag team. We're breaking up the tag team. We're splitting you apart. We're going to do 2 truths and a lie. First one to buzz in wins. You are allowed to buzz in early. That's been established in show lore. But we're going to tell you 3 things about Babylon 5 Season 5. And one of them is a lie. 2 of them are truth. The game is to find out which one is the lie. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Number 1. Byron figures out the passcode to pass a gang of down below ruffians. Let them hit you in the face multiple times. Number 2. The only new race introduced in this season, the Hayach, is also guilty of genocide. And number 3. Garibaldi has to interrogate an assassin trying to kill him, and he holds him right by the airlock and threatens to open it like Batman.
Oh my gosh. I would love for the first one to be true. I'm going to stick to that one being true just because I love it.
And Nate's not buzzing in? All right.
I'll
remember, you're identifying the lie. You got to find the lie.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to also offer a lie?
Someone has to buzz in and say a lie. That hasn't happened.
I'm picking 3. The third one for me, just because it's like the happiest one.
And Naj is the winner.
Oh, Nate was trying to get in there, but she came off the back with the leg sweep. Take Nate out at the last minute.
That's all good. I was going to guess a different one anyway, so my losing was warranting.
It's like you didn't want to win anyway. Yeah, the half truth there is Garibaldi does do that, but he uses a telepath to threaten a mind scan, not the airlock. Because I always sprinkle a little truth in all of my lies.
And ain't that the truth, Dre? What guest will be blitzcasting with us next? Tune in next week to find out. Or just download the next episode if you're in the future. Most likely that second scenario, given the nature of time and all that. I'll see you on the next Blitzcast. Cheers, all.